future, talk radio will actually educate, inspire, and make you think. The future is now. Topics and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.
This. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Plus This. I'm Kathy Deach.
And I am Eva Tingley. I said my name right this time.
You did. You're very proper English.
I said my name is Eva Tingley.
I definitely am feeling myself in my hair, guys. I just want you to know.
Guys, you wait until you see our Instagram pictures because you can't tell right now, but I'm wearing a gown.
She is.
I am wearing a full-on gown.
To the floor gown.
I was really walking, just had to kick it out when I was walking down the street.
Yeah, you did.
Just walking up Gower, just kicking my dress.
Yeah. And of course, then I had to almost go to the floor with my dress, too, that I chose. These are, again, Melissa Massey. Could I say it right?
And our hair.
I know. I'm so happy. It's like a new world. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later. So it isn't a new world because she's returning, but to our new space.
Yeah.
We have our dear friend Joy Nash finally joining us.
I know. She's so busy these days. We're very lucky to have her.
I know.
Before it gets too crazy and we won't be able to get her
I know.
at all.
We have this special secret window that was okay, I can talk about Twin Peaks and then Dietland's happening. So we got to squeeze her in. And we're going to totally hang out with her tonight and party.
Oh, yeah. We're going to this amazing art exhibit. Marjorie Salvatierra is doing an exhibit of her photography and her book, Her, at Ralph Pucci's, I don't even know what it's called.
We're just going to where the address is.
So it's RSVP only. It's very exclusive.
Oh, yeah. So exclusive.
But I'm going to be definitely overdressed wearing a gown.
No, you're not. You're going to look fabulous. Don't be worried.
I'm going to just kill it.
I'm just going to be
over
anything.
This is what I wear on a Thursday.
Dressed.
Yeah.
How about you're dressed?
Yeah, Bill Maher. I'm dressed.
I love it. Another one of our past guests, Leah Savoli. If you guys checked out our Facebook page today or our Twitter, I don't think I did on Facebook. I'm going to wait till tomorrow or after the show to post it on Facebook. But we have her interview on our YouTube page, and she talked about needing to find a man and wanting to open up, and she was up for the show.
That I put her out for I put there was a thing about it and I was like, Leah, you should do this, and then that kind of whole thing kind of snowballed and she was on it, and now the first episode is out and I watched it and it's real. I'm really excited to see how things go. I don't know. All these people are so interesting and so different, and the coaches are very different. And there was one that I was like, I'm really glad that would not have been my coach, because it was rubbed me the wrong way.
It was a little challenge.
I know. But it was really, and all of the people who are on it are over 40.
It's amazing.
And all of them have different reasons as to why they're single. I don't know. It was a really interesting little episode.
Leah on that. Her dreams came true. That happened. We witchy-pooed it on our show.
because you know what happens. We witchy-poo stuff.
We witchy-poo things. So that happened. So you got to catch up. There's so many things to catch up with. Well, let's talk really quickly about what we can do as fat people, and no one can tell us different. I'm fat and I did it anyway.
Oh, yeah. Hashtag I'm fat and I did it anyway.
This amazing video that a viewer tagged us in. Thank you so much. By the way, people have been emailing us how can we participate? How can we be part of the team? Can I do this where I am?
Right.
The answer is yeah, do it. We're literally two girls in a dream. That's all we're doing right now.
Right.
And one day, hopefully, we'll grow and we'll
have a franchise of Plus This shows all across
the
nation,
cities everywhere,
the world.
But for right now, obviously, if there's something that you guys want to talk about, we want to know about it. And this was because a viewer was feel like this is something y'all ladies got to talk about this week.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it's amazing. So REI is a brand of outdoorsy
stuff. So they have like camp. There's not even clothes. I mean, yes, clothes is one aspect, but they have like skis and snowboards and kayaks and
I've
they have
bought
all
many
the things.
a Swiss Army knife from them in New York.
That you did. She loves a Swiss Army knife.
I'm kind of a cultural lesbian, guys.
Not kind of. She just is.
I wore my Indigo Girl shirt today, my concert shirt.
You were just like, yeah, living your life with your fan on your face.
But so REI is a brand. I've often gone to REI wanting to buy things because they do have like the best quality outdoor stuff. Like if you are doing something hard in nature, like their stuff is made the best quality. I really love their stuff.
Right, like if you're gonna go hiking for real, you need like real hiking shoes, you go to REI.
But you know, that shit don't zip up on this Chubs. Like women's.
Oh no, they don't make Chub sizes.
I would do men's all the time. Like, and then things would be crazy long.
Right, and then you would like look like a boxy guy.
Yeah.
You would look like a cute gal.
However, people are growing.
Companies are growing.
And they're figuring it out. And so this amazing, what would you called her something, a certain kind of cross country.
Oh, but she does trail running.
Trail running, yes. She's a trail runner.
But not even like a trail runner, like, you know how like some people are like, oh, I went trail running. And they're like, yeah, I did like 3 miles. No. She does like, what is it
she
called?
She did a 50K.
A 50K, which is like 31 miles or something.
All I know is that I've never done it, never will. I've done a 5K and that's it.
5K, that's it.
I do a walk and that's it.
She did 10 times that.
10 times that.
10 times
Her
that.
name is Myrna Valerio.
Yes.
She is the Myrna Vader.
Yeah, she Vaders you. Motivates you. Myrna Vader on Instagram. And she is unbelievable.
And she's a light. They're doing like a video of her right now, guys, to like promote their brand.
And it's unbelievable.
Talks about a guy writing her like the most scandalous email.
My hand is in a fist because she reads it aloud on the video what this person said to her. Like, you're not running fast enough. And I'm like, so you don't get to call yourself a runner. I'm like, how fast do you have to run in order to be called a runner?
Literally, the person was like, you're a liar.
You're an effing liar.
Yeah. Yeah. And what I loved is that she came back from reading it. So we don't see her. We're just seeing we don't see her reading it. We just hear her voiceover and see her doing all these amazing things. And then she comes back on the screen and she's lit like a Christmas tree. She glows like inner light beautiful.
Totally.
And is like, by the way, when he emailed that, I literally was doing a 50K.
She was like on the last leg of her 50K. And this person wrote to her saying all these horrible things. And she was like, I could have let this get to me, but I was just like, no, like I am a runner. I am an athlete. And she's actually like, that's like part of her job is that she's a paid athlete.
Yeah. It's amazing. She's amazing. Go find her. She's incredible. We reposted
she's so
her.
Fun.
Go to our Instagram @+the_show and enjoy.
And hopefully we're going to witchy poo that she's going to be here at some
come
point from
Cali.
Georgia.
Yes.
And come talk to us, Myrna Vader.
I know. We need some
come
athletes
talk to
up in
us.
here.
We do.
We need some sporty spices because really Eva needs some sporty in her life.
I do.
She needs to connect with them. So lastly, before we bring on the gorgeous Joy
this
Nash,
is going to be a rager.
The New York Times once again did an incredible article that made us mad. But it's just the facts, man.
It is the facts. So it's not the content that makes us mad. It's the societal perspective.
Yeah, it's not like the person wrote a point of view comment article.
No, it's not a Bill Maher thing. It's like
not an opinion article. It is. This is what studies are showing.
It starts out by saying, a very slender friend recently admitted to me that she can't stand to be around fat people. Like, that's literally the first sentence.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's really, really crazy. Like, they go on in this article to talk about fat bias in our society
and how
early that starts. It starts as early as 3. And like, so she asked her friend, like, okay, so how far back does that bias go about you not wanting to be around fat people? And she couldn't pinpoint it
because it was so early. And we've talked about this before. Like I one of my earliest memories is dancing at 5 years old and me really having a visceral memory of wanting to hide myself next to my skinny cousins in their like cat leotards when I was in my pink tutu and like wanting to hide behind flowers when we took the picture because I was so fat and they were so not. Yeah, I mean, and so it says as early as 3. it says so many things that P.S. we already know this. Like, we already know how harmful this is. We already know that people don't get paid as much and don't get hired, and people don't trust them, and all this horrible stuff just because of the way a person looks. But what is even more fascinating is how this bias affects actual behavior of people.
Right.
Beyond the bias part, the people who are biased against, also it helps continue the cycle of the keeping on the weight that they have or gaining more weight.
Well, so they interviewed several doctors, and there's one quote that says, obesity has been called the last socially acceptable form of prejudice, and persons with obesity are considered acceptable targets of stigma. This weight bias occurs even in people who are otherwise fair-minded and non-judgmental, even in obesity specialists. And they might not realize that it predisposes to unhealthier behaviors and more weight gain. So people go around thinking that by shaming people about their weight that they are going to get better, but like literally the exact opposite does
like,
that.
There are
because
studies that
79% of women most of the studies was done with women. 79% reported coping with weight stigma on multiple occasions by eating more food. 75% reported by coping by refusing to diet.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you're literally not helping at all by being mean or prejudiced to people
or being biased. Yeah. And then there's another thing that even if you're not technically overweight, which we've argued what the BMI does or doesn't do or blah, blah, blah. But there is definitely a line where the government says over this line, you are obese.
Right.
But people who are not even at that line, also, if they think they're overweight, it still
This is the meme, right? We have a meme for this, Jarvis. Can you put up the meme for us? Okay, great.
Yes. So even people who simply think they're overweight, regardless of what they weigh, may be at increased risk for weight gain and eating more in response to social threats. This is Dr. Puel writing this. 3 long-term studies involving more than 14,000 adults in the United States and Britain showed that regardless of what they originally weighed and whether their self-perception of being overweight was accurate. I skipped a line. Showed that adults who thought of themselves as overweight were more likely to gain weight over time, regardless of what they originally weighed. Yada, yada, yada. I mean, it is extraordinary how the perception of this is shaping literally an entire society. And we kind of said that we would be a little brave today and talk about food, because we really haven't talked about we've talked about a lot of personal stuff on the show, but not really about the personal relationship with food, which is what this article is talking about.
Right.
Like how people's bias of you and social cues affects how you eat. Whether it is something that you constrict and then because you're starving binge, or whatever reason you binge.
Right.
Or you say it's not worth it at all and I just give up because there must be something wrong with me if I can't keep up with a diet. I had 2 friends this morning who have an awesome Facebook Live show. And when I happened to watch it, they were talking about dieting and like what works for them. But it also wasn't working for them in the moment. And it was like a big and I'm not doing it right now. So it doesn't work if it doesn't work for you all the time, is what I'm going to suggest. And I will say that I am somebody who had a food obsession. I mean, I was constantly thinking about food and my relationship to food and whether I was going to eat food, whether I wasn't going to eat food, how I was going to eat food, what kind of food I was going to eat, whether it was going to be sweet food, whether it was going to not sweet food, whether it was going to be a protein or carbohydrate or sugar. I mean, I know more about food than a goddamn nutritionist. I literally befriended every nutritionist I could. I went to a holistic health healer, counselor person. I mean, Weight Watchers since I was 13. I had an obsession.
Right.
And I ended up going to a 12-step program because it was making me crazy. And I went to the 12-step program because I thought I was too fat to be in the world. And what I realized when I got there was that I had an obsession. And it really wasn't about my weight. Because once the obsession lifted, because I gave up control over everything that I was using to control in my life, I relaxed and my weight stayed exactly the same. but I was like a new person. I just had the obsession.
Well, yeah, because you weren't
lifted.
like locked in that mindset.
Yeah.
Like that mindset is just, it's really is a controlling thing. Like we talked about a little bit about the difference between us. Like, and for me, I feel like it's a little bit of a lack mentality. My family grew up really, really poor, and we had spaghetti all the time, and I felt like because I didn't have things or didn't get to try things, like when I went to a health food expo and they had all this health food, and so I felt like I had to try every single thing because I might not ever get to try it again, right? And even though it's all healthy food, I had to. I mean, my plate was like stacked because of that, and I think that stems back to my lack mentality. And then I also think for me personally, it has something to do with safety. Like I really feel like when I watch films about women being hurt or grabbed or murdered or taken and tied up to a tree, that like is like something that is really a trigger for me. And I think that my weight is because of that. Like I feel like when I'm bigger, I can't. That sort of thing couldn't happen to me.
It's harder to stuff you into a getaway car.
Yeah, you can't just grab this.
Not with one arm, you can't.
Nope.
And and also,
and that was like real, guys.
Yeah, and I think that when I think about me being young and being constantly told I was fat over and over, like it is that thing like this talks about, you believe it.
Yeah.
Like at 5 years old, I was not fat. I was a chubby 5-year-old, not even chubby. I just was like...
You were just like round.
I was a kid who hadn't grown. Like, you know? And I feel like in a lot of ways I sort of was my self-fulfilling prophecy. I feel like because I was believing all that tape that I was fat.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh, okay, I'm fat. It's just happening.
Well, I mean, and that's what the study says, that if
control.
what you think about, you bring about, right? So, like, if you're thinking that you're fat, that's all that you're attracting to yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, this article ends in a really great way. So Dr. Puhle says that with extreme thinness being so prevalent in the media, it's hard to change societal attitudes. It's hard to compete with all the well-funded messages from the diet and fashion industries. We all need to move away from the current appearance-focused culture and recognize that other things matter more than what a person looks like. And that's why I'm so excited to talk to Joy about Dietland, because that is literally what that book, what this show, it's like they're challenging that.
For sure.
And it's going to be amazing.
And it's controversial in a lot of ways. So
especially with the political climate that we have, with everything that's going on that's like really heavy. I mean, it's really, I'm really excited for it.
Yeah. And for her, for sure.
Totally.
And she also was in Twin Peaks, guys. So I'm going to go now and I'm going to look at your comments. So if you have questions for Joy Nash, who's going to be sitting in the seat when we come back.
Yes.
Stay tuned. Plus this.
You know that 67% of American women are size 14 and above.
You mean they look like this?
Yeah, girl.
So then where are we in television and film?
And where are we in fashion magazines and clothing stores?
Yeah.
So we want to help out entertainment and fashion and media. Catch the F up.
Topics get hot. We want to hear what y'all have to say.
And they will get hot.
Absolutely.
I have a question for you. It's kind of like a dirty little one. So if you had to do a love scene with somebody else famous, who would it be?
Oscar Isaac.
Love how I asked you that and you had an answer like right away.
We sang, we laughed, we cried. We
You
actually
gotta go
didn't
back.
cry.
No, we didn't cry.
We didn't cry.
Everybody should be able to be seen in, I mean, maybe not every single campaign, but let's try to include it in as many campaigns as we can.
Witchy poo, we told you.
Just putting it in the cauldron for you.
We're gonna get those candles. Yeah, people are having sex with us. We need to show that we're like part of this society, and being sexual is part of that.
Absolutely.
So tough titty, you're fucking uncomfortable.
Watch a fat girl love herself.
Applause,
But just
applause.
us.
Just us applauding.
Thank you. So good.
Plus this. Hi, we're back, and Joy Nash is here.
Woo!
Doing a
Thanks for
dance.
coming back on our show.
Anytime, ladies.
Oh,
Anytime.
well, we'll see how busy you get, Miss. You'll be like, plus this who?
Couldn't possibly come by, guys.
No, I'm
Never.
so busy.
Never.
So
And
busy.
I love that she's so coordinated. It's so funny. Last time Joy was here, she was like really taking a chance on a couple of new girls on the street.
Right.
Oh, come on.
Really?
You kind of were. You kind of did. We thank
No,
you.
you really.
for
She like
that.
rushed in from Vegas. Remember?
Yeah, I was like a sub, right? Like.
Oh, because remember our guest like had a stroke or something
Oh, yeah.
last minute, and it was like real crazy, and I was like, maybe I can ask Joy Nash. Like
And I was
she
like,
lives
I'm
locally.
in Las Vegas,
I
but
know.
I'll do what I can.
I know it's
She did.
amazing,
I
amazing.
know. And so we didn't have our beautiful paintings that Eva made behind us.
No.
At our last time she was here, and she matches one.
Well,
of them,
and
so
the
happy.
lighting here is much better now.
Thanks, ring light. Thank you, Tony Sweet. Guys, UVN's a really good studio. You should totally shoot something here.
You totally should.
But we want to talk about Joy. Okay, it's amazing to watch someone take the journey that you have watched. Like, as actors, you get to see people go through lots of stages. There's a lot of lows, there's some highs, but then every now and then, our friend Carla Jimenez has done this too, like all of a sudden hits a stride and you're like, holy crap, like just nailing it. Like, you've had this incredible year. Do you
It's been crazy.
feel like it's transformed you? Do you feel like you're a bit different?
Not yet. I mean, I don't know. That's a weird question.
Well, because you haven't started filming yet,
we
right?
haven't started filming. I haven't got any big paychecks yet. I still have all of my credit cards, all of my debt.
Yeah.
But yeah, like things are coming out. I got to go to a gifting suite last week.
I know. I saw that. I was like, that sounds really fun.
How gifty.
It was. My
Yeah.
friend hooked me up, man. It's crazy.
I love that.
Things are
And
changing.
took pictures with everything. So we literally kept asking you week after week, can you talk about it now? Can you talk about it now? Can you come back now? So Twin Peaks,
Yes.
obviously, like I told you personally, I have a friend, David, who when I sat down and told him you were in it, he's like, don't spoil it. I was like, I won't, but she's on this week. So, and she has like a significant thing. So make sure. He text messaged me as soon as he watched it. He's like, your friend is marvelous. And literally it is the highlight of the entire franchise for me.
Oh,
what,
come
like your
on.
episode and what you
Aw.
did.
I mean, you're stunningly beautiful in it, first of all.
Oh, God.
I mean, and you had like some fan art made for you.
Yeah, people are so talented.
So we're showing you guys the actual picture of Joy, and then that is the fan art that somebody made
right?
for you. That's so
It's
amazing.
incredible. It's incredible. I mean, I can't take credit for any of that. Like, it's
so
the fans of this
cool.
show. Like, people are so invested in like nothing I've ever done before has anything like this. Like, people care so much about it, and it's
Oh, I mean, that has like
riding
a
the wave.
huge following, and like people are nuts
Absolutely.
about
Now,
the show.
Was there a lot of, I mean, we know that there was pressure because you were like, I literally can't even really tell people I'm on it.
No, you had signed some crazy NDA. Like
Yeah.
you would barely even. Yeah, you could like not even say that you were on it, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they published that cast list, but that was all. Like, you will owe us $1 million if you mention
And that
anything,
sounds that's like
basically.
so scary. You're like, my credit cards don't go that.
okay.
I don't have a
My
I don't have
life
American-
insurance.
I don't have life insurance. Yes, I got that
Right.
right.
But then also, in a sense, it was such a gift too. Like, I can't say David Lynch fucking changed my life, man. Like
You can say fucking on here.
Okay.
Yeah, you can. You can.
Oh my God.
I mean, I did an audition for that role. I got called by an extras casting director who said, we found your picture on LA Casting, and are you still acting? Would you like to come in? I was like, okay. So I showed up, and we shot these 2 days, and I don't have dialogue in it. So I couldn't talk about that, so I couldn't minimize it
Right.
in the time afterwards, because my MO is to be like, oh, I did this thing, and I mean, it sounds cool. Don't worry though, it's not that big of a deal. And so when people are like, well, you know, how big is your role? Is it a co-star? Is it recurring? What, you know, how many lines do you have?
Right.
I couldn't be like none. I mean, I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So you shot this like you weren't given a script or anything. You just went and shot a scenario.
Sort of. I mean, I showed up. I wasn't given a script. I showed up on set. David Lynch was directing. He had really specific things that he wanted me to hit and do, and I did that. And then at the end of the day, they had to have planned it before, but he was like, "So can you come back?" I was like, "What if I said no?"
Right. You're like, what if I was busy?
Are you, of course. Yes, I'll be here. But it was. I had no idea what was happening. I didn't know that Laura Palmer would be in the Globe. I didn't know. I hope that's not a spoiler for everyone. Sorry.
It'll be okay. If you're a real diehard fan and hasn't watched it, lots of luck. Exactly.
Right.
Sorry about it. Not sorry. So when you were you a fan of the show?
I had watched an episode before I filmed my episode.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, it's a little before my time, and my parents are really religious, as we talked about before.
My parents didn't let us watch it. It was like too weird and out there.
I totally watched the whole thing and then went to the movie in the theater.
I watched it recently as an adult and was like, this is really weird. Like I don't really know if this is like a comedy or like just like I don't really know what genre it is.
Yeah.
It's like a very strange thing. Yeah.
And to think it was on CBS.
I know.
Network television.
It
I mean,
was
now
really
it could never
cool.
be on CBS. Like that's why it's on Showtime.
So interesting. So going in with that, were you just sort of like, I'm going to take in this artistic experience?
Yeah.
Without any kind of like context, right?
Yeah, that's all I could do. I mean, I showed up. They made a gown for me. I went to a fitting beforehand, but then
But they had that whole thing like you had to go try that on, and you were just like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just trying this on.
Yep. I went to a fitting. There was a woman measuring me, and I'm like, I didn't know. I was like, all you know about me is my height and my size. Am I going to be fat lady number 2? Am I the butt of a joke? I have no idea. All I know is that David Lynch is involved, and so I said yes. So I'm at this fitting, and the next to me is this row of like patterns for some other production, and they've got character names on them like Castor and Pollux and Woody Harrelson. This woman made the Hunger Games costumes.
Wow.
And I was like, holy shit, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
You're like, just this costume alone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because it does remind me a bit. They weren't quite as tight-lipped, but when I did that short recurring on American Horror Story,
Yeah,
Freak
tell me
Show,
about that.
It literally, like, I auditioned with one scene that was like real sexy and like in sheets in the bed and all this stuff, and I thought that's what I was going down there to do, and I got the script literally before I stepped onto my plane, pretty much.
Wow.
And it was like not anything that I had read for. It was like give birth outside in front of people, do a a vaudeville act in front of an audience. I was like, pull a gun out and stop him from killing your baby. I was like, what? Like what's happening?
Yeah.
But in the same way, like had my fittings, and Lou is the designer. She's amazing. She's won all kinds of Emmys, and same exact thing. Like she's done extraordinary, crazy things. So when you go there, you're like, oh yeah, of course, everything's going to be perfect. And and that the hair and makeup design, unreal.
And it was something that you were like built for, like a vaudeville act. Like, come on, like
hilarious.
It's exactly your sweet spot. Like things you didn't even necessarily know that you were created to do, and then here you're handed it.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
And I literally made up my choreography, everyone, just so you know. If you were wondering who choreographed that, it was maybe choreography I did when I was in college in a number called Too Much Mustard. That was a Charleston number.
That's incredible.
That's
Awesome. Yeah.
But do you wish that you could have kept that? Like, you're like, dang, stupid NDA. Like, I wish I could have kept that.
The outfit?
Costume.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, my God.
It's so beautiful.
There was one moment, though. So, like halfway through, I don't remember which day, but I had to go to the bathroom. And we shot in this old theater, and the only bathroom is on, like, the basement level. So I'd gone down 3 flights of stairs all by myself and used the bathroom. Got myself out of the costume, but then when I went to zip it back up, I had these 2 like bejeweled cuffs, and they both got caught in the lace.
Oh no!
And you're like in handcuffs, and I'm not gonna rip it.
Right.
But I'm trapped in a bathroom. So I like finagled around enough to unclasp each of them, so my
they're
hands
hanging?
were, and they're just like hanging from. I got upstairs and somebody released me.
Oh my gosh! I was kind of hoping
Note
that
to
the story would
self.
mean that you had to like do like a whole thing, like you had to like get out, like unlock the door, and then like shimmy back around, and then get out and like open the bathroom door, and then like walk up and be like, hey, just halfway zip, just hey.
I'm really glad you're good with cuffs. You know who to go to.
Yeah.
You know,
Girls
you
and girls.
know.
If you're gonna get kidnapped, snare cuffs.
Right.
Joyce is the lady.
That's right.
I do what I can. You know.
She knows how to break out of them.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, we're gonna take a tiny quick break, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about your new role in the. It's like a book that people are like bananas over.
Yeah.
This one. I mean, I love it too, but this one.
I mean,
Dietland.
we'll talk all about it.
Yeah. When we come back, plus this. Stay tuned, guys.
Promotional consideration brought to you by Melissa Massey. Custom clothing isn't exclusively for the rich and famous. Melissa Massey is custom-made clothing for everyday wear. A unique combination of custom tailoring and deluxe fabrics that is well made and fit for every size and frame. Made in LA, sold in LA, and online at melissamassey.com. It's not the natural beauty products in your life, but the life in your natural beauty products. Linda Kammen's Aromatherapy Salon, lindakamens.com, for happier, healthier living.
Welcome back. We're here with Joy Nash, who was on Twin Peaks, but now she's gonna be on another show.
Not even just on another show. She is the lead series lead character of this amazing show that's coming out that is written and directed by Marty Noxon, who also did Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and other shows, but Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
And she took on this book. So Saray Walker wrote a book called Dietland, which is about Plum Kettle, and Plum is this like really beloved character, like in the plus size community. I would say people like really, really love her. And so I was just curious because the second they announced you, people were like, "Oh, Hollywood, like that's not Plum." Because Plum is 300 pounds, and so I don't know, like they were like mad, at you that you got cast in it, and I was just curious, like, because she is like such a well-known character anyway in the plus size community, and I think I'm just curious how that felt. I mean, if you even knew that people were like, "You're not fat enough."
I mean, I anticipated that. And the truth of the matter is, my BMI is 40. I am morbidly obese. Like, that's the truth of the matter. But I hear that, what they're saying, and I don't discount it. It's I didn't think I would get the part, first of all, because of that. But I know this girl, you know what I mean? I was pretty lucky to come to fat acceptance early. Like, I think I was 18 when I first read Fatso. And so I didn't spend my life hating my body like that. But I know what it's like to wait for life to begin. I was waiting for somebody to love me back. I was waiting for somebody to tap me on the shoulder and ask me to be an actress. And that's what I was doing for most of my life. And it wasn't until like maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago, I started doing it myself. You know, I made myself an actress. I made a one-woman show. I wrote the Fat Rant and put that together. And then, I'm slowly but surely falling in love with myself. And that's harder than anything. Like, I don't know. So I hear what people are saying. All I can say is that I know her and I am her. And I know that people feel so much about it. Like she's so many other people too.
Totally.
Well, I was just going to say, I feel like that's the whole thing. Like, people do feel ownership because they recognize. That is one of the few places. I felt that way about She's Come Undone, quite frankly. When I read that book, I was like, this girl is I have done this. Like, I know what she's doing.
Yeah.
And so I get how, because when you don't get something enough, and then you read it, you're like, oh, I recognize myself in that. You feel ownership.
And I think that it's not fair because they just judge you on the one picture that they saw in Variety, which I'm like, girl knows her angles when she gets her picture taken.
Yeah, I was wearing a corset. I mean, it's,
so like they're judging you on that, and I don't think that that's fair. personally.
I just love that
because-
Eva is literally like Mama Bear, and it's like step aside, roll over, like she's like figure it out.
I know. I'm like, Joy's gonna be great, and you're gonna love her, and you're gonna be like, thank God they cast Joy Nash in this.
Oh, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. And there, so do you feel like you are going to have to handle like this? Because here's the thing, Chrissy Metz has to do it too.
Yeah.
But her character on This Is Us, which did you watch it, guys? Did you watch it on Tuesday? So good.
Oh, I haven't seen Tuesdays.
But it just came back second season, so you can totally go on NBC.com. But that character is going through something that we have seen before, I think.
Yeah.
Right? It's something that Hollywood's very comfortable with. It's sort of the track that they
she
go
is
down.
losing weight.
Yeah.
That's the only acceptable way a fat person can be in the society is if
Yeah.
they're trying to do something about it.
Yeah.
So this character is not really that in a
Yeah.
way, and it isn't like she's almost a bit antisocial in the beginning.
Yeah.
and certainly a loner,
Well, an introvert for sure.
Yeah, and I think that
And conditioned to be an introvert.
I think that that's something dark that we haven't seen and been privy to before. So do you feel like it's going to be a show about that, so therefore you're going to have to talk about this all the time, I guess is my point, in interviews?
Yes. Yeah. I hear. Yeah. I feel like that's it is. It's what the show is about. So there's definitely always going to be an aspect of that, I think. I think also, though, that it's about more than that. And I hopefully, because of shows like This Is Us, and there's like every additional fat person we see in the media, we're broadening the scope. And I think people have a tendency to be like, that's not my story. That's not how it's for me. And that's evidence that we need more stories.
Exactly.
Like, we need more people to hear these other points of view.
Yeah, it also has a vigilante, without giving too much away, it has a vigilante aspect.
Well, it's hard. Not even kind of. I mean, it gets hardcore. The book gets really, really hardcore.
Yeah, not as much as the script. We read the script.
Well, we read the pilot script, and we don't know how they're gonna go
Ultimately
throughout
do
the
it.
whole season. I'm hoping that they do follow the book as much as they can. I think that there are some elements that they're adding for television things.
Yeah.
But, they have rules of television. So they are adding some of that stuff, but it seems like they're gonna stick to the book pretty closely.
I mean, I can't say too much.
Right.
But things are not wildly different. In fact, I think that there's things that didn't make it into the book that we get to explore because there's
awesome.
more time.
Because Saray Walker is so involved
She's
in the
so
writing of
involved
it,
in it,
which
yeah.
is so great that they did that. Because a lot of times they just buy the rights and they just are like, bye.
Yeah.
So it's great that they
she's
involved
in the
her,
room. She's got a voice. Yeah.
which is so great into where Plum Kettle is going to go.
Exactly. Are you here doing that?
What do you mean?
Like, are you filming
gonna
here?
Filming here?
No, New York.
Ooh.
Oh, it's New. Well, it makes sense. It's set in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's in
So,
Brooklyn.
It's good that they're not faking it till they.
Yeah,
have
but they will do some shots in LA because if they're staying true to the book, there's things that are happening in the world that they are showing and things that happen on the 110 freeway.
You guys have to read the book.
You have
You
to read the
have
book.
to
It's
read
so
the book.
amazing.
It's so good. Yes,
and
for
just
sure.
know that Joy is going to kill it as
Oh my
Plum
God!
Kettle.
What's the thing you're most excited about?
Ah, God, everything.
She's like the paycheck.
I mean, it's a dream role. Like I remember even 10 years ago, a friend of mine being like, "What's your dream role?" And I couldn't think of anything because I'd never read a book like this.
Right.
There hadn't been a character like this.
Absolutely.
Somebody who goes through all this shit and stays herself, like stays fat. Never been before. And it's here and it's happening.
Yeah,
I know.
and that she's like not like she's dealing with that, not about what she eats at a certain point.
Yeah.
Like you watch her sort of give up on the idea that controlling food is gonna help her control her life.
Yeah.
Like it obviously spun it into a place that was so tight that she couldn't get out of it.
Yeah.
Like so that I did love the book for that for sure, and I love that that's going to be.
And
on
they
TV.
are challenging the fashion industry. They are challenging media. They are challenging the male perspective. I am very, very excited about it, and also super, super grateful to these women who are creating this show.
Yes, so many women involved. Like so many producers. Like every production, there's like 3 involved in them, and it's female executives all the way. It's insane.
I love it. And it's AMC, and it's happening as a winter, mid-season?
I'm not sure when we're going to air.
Okay.
But it's supposed to come out in 2018, right?
I hope so.
Fingers
don't know.
crossed.
Everything crossed because
Witchy poo, because we want to see it.
Totally want to see it. We have a viewing party.
Oh my god.
You might. Oh, wait. We have to talk about how you're going to be at the Plus Bus.
Oh, yeah.
I almost forgot. Okay, guys. So here's the dealio. I got to break something down. If you follow our Instagram or you're listening to this program ever, you know we love the Plus Bus. It's in Glassell Park. And it's amazing. And I have a dress that has never gotten, no other photo of me in this dress has ever gotten more likes or more comments than this blue dress I wear. And I can't believe we didn't bring up a picture of it. I'm so sorry, Eva.
I didn't know you were
dropped
gonna
the ball.
talk about
I didn't know I
it.
was going to talk about it either. But what I love is that one of those comments was Joy Nash. She was like, hey, I think that was my dress that I gave to the Plus Bus. I have you to thank. We have Joy Nash. And her dress got a million likes
so
too.
many people.
I totally had swapper's remorse. You guys posted that. I was like, oh, beautiful.
You're like, I want it back. Damn it.
So we want to tell you that Joy Nash is going to the Plus Bus for her own event, and y'all should go and get some of her stuff.
and bring some
because
money
We
to
did it
get some stuff.
accidentally.
Yeah.
And bring your clothes to swap it. So when are you doing that? Tell us when you're doing it.
October 14th.
That's really fun. And what is
That's
is
a
it-
Saturday.
Is it an early
Yes.
day for them, or is it 3?
I'm not sure. I feel like it's towards the evening.
Yeah, usually they are. They're only open at
Evening
like 4 or
things?
something.
Yeah, they've opened earlier and stayed open later.
Oh,
Yeah,
they're
I
so
pay attention
great.
to them very much.
Apparently
I'm always
so.
trying to take my stuff in there.
I know. I have that bag of stuff that I really
know.
need to bring in.
Guys,
It's terrible.
we need to do-
like
we
brand
have to
new,
do this.
brand new items that I have
know.
literally just was like,
we have
I gotta
to
take
go. Can we do it?
this in.
Yeah.
We want to come see you.
Yeah, please,
But we have to
please.
sell our stuff.
Oh my gosh, we
like
really
we're
do.
ridiculous.
Guys, would you guys come and buy our stuff? The stuff that we've worn,
That'd be
beautiful
fun.
things.
Yes, or maybe it's something that Joy sold once, and we're giving
Yeah,
it back
no.
again.
Very popular.
Joy is going to
Very-
buy it back from us at an inflated rate.
No,
Like formerly owned by Joy Nash, currently owned by Joy Nash.
that's amazing. So do you feel like your modeling stuff is still happening? Do you feel like you maybe want to venture into that world eventually?
Wow, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, what plus size celebrity doesn't have a clothing line?
No,
Is
but
there
like,
one?
are you gonna write? You that's true. That is true.
I mean, you're not wrong.
But I'm kind of like imagining you being on the runway.
Aw, that's sweet. I don't have any
No,
plans for that
right?
yet.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Or at least sitting in the front row, being like,
Yeah.
but you know so much about clothes. But you, because of your experience, you know so much about clothes.
Yes.
Like, it seems like a natural step. I'm not peer pressuring you. Go visit Joy
Okay,
at the
wait,
Plus Bus
but can we
if you're here
can
on
we
October
talk
14th.
for just a hot second, because this is like my favorite thing that you ever tweet about. Your mom,
Oh yes, who you mentioned earlier.
because Joy's mom is very religious and has opinions. And when you were telling your mom about getting Dietland, she was like, "Oh, did you tell them that we don't swear?"
She did. She said that. She's like, so now what is it? I'm going to be on a TV show. You're moving to be on a TV show. Yes. I'm moving to New York to star in a TV show. On AMC. Well, you tell them we do not swear. Okay, Mom. All right. The only other thing she said really was, like I was telling her about my day, something I met with producers, and she's like, it's a lot different than being a substitute teacher, that's for sure. And that's what she does.
Wait, I'm just curious because this show is going to be racy. Because I'm sure your mom's watching our show.
Keep it to yourself.
Well, I was just thinking about, because in the book there's one part where there's a room full of porn that's like supposed to like super expose you to it so that you're just like desensitized to it. And I'm just curious what your mom will
These are hard-hitting questions, girl.
What your mom is gonna be when she sees you in that room.
I have no idea.
You're like, just don't watch this episode.
They
Mom.
don't have
you know what?
they don't have
skipped
cable.
this week.
Oh, they don't have
They
cable.
don't.
I'm certainly not going to help them hook it up.
Right.
I'm going to wait until the show is like syndicated in reruns with
Oh, where
everything
they take
exciting
that
cut out.
Like with the Sex in the City, how
No
they do
bad
that. They
word,
just like take
exactly.
all the sex scenes out. Everything's out.
Okay.
That's my goal. That's my plan.
That's good. Or just send them the commercial.
Have they announced any of the other cast?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see who's going to play your boss, who's going to play all the characters.
I know. It's really
I'm hoping
exciting.
I get to read with people in advance.
I hope you do
Oh, I'm
too.
sure you will. Don't you think? At least at a table read.
Oh,
yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
That's really good. That's really good. There was one other hot topic we wanted to kind of talk about, especially since we just did that whole opening thing about us and being kids and how you're so young when you're affected by fat bias.
Yeah.
And another thing, there's this amazing blog article that was written about what happens when you are young and plus size clothing isn't available to you
For like in
for
children's
kids
clothes.
in children's
I mean,
clothes.
this specific writer talked about how she in the 3rd grade was 5'7". In the 5th grade, she was 5'10".
Yep.
So, because you're pretty tall.
Yeah.
Were
yeah.
you always tall?
Yeah. I was always I was a chubby kid. I wasn't fat per se, but I was 6 inches taller than everyone in my class, always.
And then did you
have
like,
to wear adult clothing.
Did you have
Yeah.
to wear, and then
Yeah.
did men like
Yeah, I think I was an
think
adult.
you were an adult?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. At
So
13,
she talks about that because like her friends
10.
would be wearing like pink unicorns and she would be wearing
Yes,
Lane Bryant
yeah.
pants.
Yeah.
And how that really affected her.
And I remember being 10 and having to get size 10 in, like, I got my period, I stopped
Yep.
growing, I started gaining weight, my boobs were real big,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to go where my mom shopped at the JCPenney and shop and for older ladies clothes. And so that's probably where my obsession with fashion came, because I was like, well, what can work? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, what's still fun? You know, if junior stuff isn't going to work for me, how can I
but
make it work?
would you like have your dad help you make stuff?
Oh, full on. Me and my dad full on made jams.
Kathy's dad's a costumer, so he
Yeah.
could help her
taught
make
me how to
stuff.
sew.
Lucky
So I made a
duck.
lot of my own singular pieces, but not really like whole out
Couture?
dresses. They were
Couture?
like couture jams.
They were Deech couture.
You guys don't know what jams are because I'm so old and they're so not.
Are they
But
pajamas?
no, they're shorts. They're very.
That's what I
long-
assumed they
they're
were.
Very long, loud shorts.
Did they have like tassels on the end?
No.
Oh.
Like genie
No.
pants?
I don't know. I wanted them to have tassels. I had a
don't
friend who
have
her brother had shorts that had tassels at the end, and I was like, what a dork.
Oh no, I didn't have tassels. The my.
But I figured that
the Deech
you might
made
have
jams
tassels.
didn't have
Those are good.
tassels.
No.
But I will say that it did feel like I did like had a fight against this idea of being treated like an adult way before my time.
It's so interesting you say that. I never made that connection before. All my stuff, we didn't have a lot of money. All my clothes were hand-me-downs. But come to think, I mean, they were adult clothing, and men always treated me like I was much older, and I never put a finger on it that maybe my clothes had something to do with it. That I was wearing adult women clothes, not just that I look like an adult woman as
But
a
probably
preteen.
both, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a really interesting aspect.
yeah, and I think it's also another danger. It's
But
like
it was
another-
really dangerous. She said that
Yeah.
like people would yell at her for holding hands with her mom, like call them like fucking lesbians and like all this stuff. They attacked her and her mom for holding hands because she looked like a grown adult, but she was 12. I mean, and she felt like she was pushed into early sexuality because of it and felt like she didn't value herself. I mean, like there was a lot of things in this
Yeah.
posting that she talked about because of like literally because there weren't kid clothing.
Yeah.
There wasn't clothing that looked like kids clothing.
Yeah, I mean that's something. It makes me literally want to do something. Like it makes me like want to go to places and be like, okay, so what do we have to do? Like, let's
But that's
get
what
kids-
makes places like Hot Topic great because they do have like sections that
yeah,
are
they
more
have.
fun.
But Hot Topic is not for
Hot Topic, sorry.
10-year-olds.
Yeah, not every 10
Sorry, Torrid. Not for
Oh,
10-year-olds. But
Torrid.
Torrid has some plus size stuff that's like kind of,
younger.
But I mean,
Younger.
where do kids shop? I feel like like places like Kmart. That's where a parent's gonna buy clothes for their kids.
Yeah.
Well, Kmart
Or-
now has fabulous sizes.
For kids too.
I don't
though?
know. I don't know.
We
Maybe
do
not.
have to.
that's an
This is an interesting question. I
unexplored
want us
market.
to like pay attention to it now. I don't have kids, so I don't really pay attention
None
to it
of
too
us
much.
have kids.
But I
Do
think
you have
that,
any kids that you know of?
Not that I know of.
Yeah,
but
me
let's
either.
keep our eyes out because I don't
Let's
like
keep our
that.
eyes out.
Our eyes, all of our eyes collectively.
Joy, how can people follow you and
yes.
find you?
I'm the real Joy Nash. On
the real
Instagram.
Joy Nash.
Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it
Ooh.
twisted. And on Facebook, I have a fan page at the real Joy Nash. Also,
Oh, great.
Very nice. Welcome
Good.
back here. Thank you for coming to our new space.
thanks for
Yes.
having me, guys. You're
Guys,
incredible.
We will have to have you back.
Yes, please.
Yeah, the night is young. We're going
Oh,
out.
we're going out. We're going to go to
our
the
gowns.
Marjorie Salvatierra. I'm wearing a gown. I'm going to be supremely overdressed, and I don't care.
It's gonna be amazing. And we'll totally take a bunch of pictures with Joy later, so you can see. Her
Yes,
dress is
see-
real cute when she has on right now.
All of us are so cute today.
Yes, it's a good one, guys. We'll be back next week, same time, 6 o'clock Thursdays. Plus this.